Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm at Brickworld Chicago 2022 and I present my LEGO Hogwarts MOC. Alright, so this is my full display setup at Brickworld Chicago 2022. As you can see, my table display is all prepped and ready to go for the weekend. In addition to my LEGO Hogwarts, I have a few additional builds on hand. And there's also some signage beneath the display. One thing I like to have every year is how many owls can you find? So hidden within my LEGO Hogwarts are 13 owls, and it's always a fun game for little kids to play. It kind of baits them in to stay at my display a little bit longer, so it builds up a crowd, which is kind of intentional. Over here is my social media. I belong to Good Brothers Lug. It's me and my brother Richard Bernal. And so this is the story of what my Hogwarts MOC is, so I don't have to explain it a million times at the show. So what does this MOC depict? The story so far: the might of the Disney Empire has descended upon the equally lucrative and financially successful Wizarding World media franchise. Mickey Mouse has delivered a boat full of money to offer peaceful exchange for the Wizarding World, but they are met with resistance. It's Harry Potter versus Mickey Mouse in the battle to end all battles. In addition to that, I have this little sign here. So I get this a lot, and it's the most annoying thing, especially when it's from like a fellow adult fan. They'll always comment, "Your Hogwarts Castle is not accurate to the one in the movie or in the books." So this is Malfoy. No one likes Malfoy. Don't be like Malfoy. It is called a MOC for a reason. Okay, so let's talk about Hogwarts Castle. So like I mentioned, this is not accurate to the one that's portrayed in the movie or in the books. I first debuted this castle back at Brickworld Chicago 2019, and the original plan was to bring it every year later and make modifications to it, but due to the pandemic and COVID, I had to put those plans on hold. But now that the world is opened up again and we're back in business at Brickworld, Hogwarts is back. So in terms of the size, one question I get a lot of is how many pieces. So last time the castle was on display back in 2019, I estimated over 10,000 LEGO pieces were used to create it. Since then, the MOC has increased in size by 50%, so I couldn't really tell you how many more pieces were added. But there's been a lot of significant changes to the castle since the last time I was here. And let's talk about the castle as we go a little bit more in depth and in a little bit more in detail. First, we'll do a quick flyby so you can see some of the different grounds in campus. So I didn't want to isolate the castle to just one solid structure. My idea was that the castle was rebuilt after the Battle of Hogwarts, and I wanted to make it feel more like a university or like a campus ground where it's a little bit more spread out. I wanted to add more color and breathe more life into it. In the films, especially the later films past The Goblet of Fire, the color scheme of the movie is very dark and muted. I really missed the color palette that they used in the original films. So I decided to add some vibrancy with a lot more flowers, a lot more foliage, a lot more trees. And just really amp up the contrast and the brightness of the overall color scheme. So the MOC itself sits on, I believe, 8 of the larger sized base plates. It's 2 rows. You have 4 rows in the front and 4 plates in the back. So when I first designed this MOC, the first thing I built was actually the bridge. The bridge gave me an idea of how large everything else was going to be. For me, the castle kind of sits in a lock or a bay, and I kind of wanted the bridge to sit above a body of water. And then once I had the bridge down, I kind of used that as a measuring tool for the proportions of the buildings. Of course, the buildings are not going to be minifig scale, but to the best of my abilities, I wanted to give everything a much grander, larger structure. Ideally, I would have liked to raise the build a little bit higher vertically, but at the same time, I have to be aware that, come the time of the convention or the show, there's a lot of little ones and children viewing this. So for them, you know, the castle already towers above them, and I want them to be able to see everything, like all the minifigs and the story that's being told. Alright, so let's start towards the upper left corner. So what we have here, this is a new addition to the castle. We have the Owlry, and on top you have Hermione and you have Jay from Ninjago. Another fun game is that I hid a couple of Jays in the MOC, and he's with the selfie stick, and he's taking a selfie for Instagram. As you can tell, he might just fall off and go splat. As we descend, we come across the boathouse, and then in the lock we have Hagrid with Dobby, and they're coming to the defense of Hogwarts because here is the Disney pirate ship. It's captained by Mickey Mouse, and as the description was earlier, the Disney Empire has descended upon Hogwarts in attempts to buy the Wizarding World. So they brought a boatload of money. So we have a bunch of key iconic Disney characters here, and this is really where they're like showing that they mean serious business. At the front of the ship there's a witch's hat, meaning they already took out one witch as a warning. And the threat is so big that Malfoy has teamed up with Harry and Ron as they are at the forefront of attacking the Disney Empire, as is Hagrid with his flintlock pistol, and McGonagall on her attack turtle and laser gun. And here we have the First Order. And the threat is so great that even the estate of J.R. Tolkien has sent the elves from Rivendell to assist in the battle. And we have Luna Lovegood, and a slight little nod to the movie Red Dawn. And we're coming upon the Great Hall, and some of the students and the professors, they're assembling to get ready for the battle. We see Filch and his cat. Filch is getting ready to clean up the mess. One of the students has pulled out his Halo plasma sword for the great conflict. We have one of the courtyards. Some of the students don't care about the battle, and they're just enjoying a nice afternoon of tea. And here comes Vigo, the villain from Ghostbusters. He's going to lend a hand to our magical friends. And there we have Jay again taking a selfie. He just might fall off that roof. So we're approaching a gatehouse. This is a new addition to the castle. Prior to this, I had a giant tower, but it was too big, and my fear was it was going to fall over, so I kind of scaled it back and just made a gatehouse. You might notice some wiring in the castle, and that's for Saturday night for the World of Lights. So my castle will light up. And let's take a look at the Disney ship real quick. We have Iron Man, we have Rey Skywalker, we have Mickey Mouse, and we have the big Mickey Mouse sail, Captain Jack, Buzz Lightyear. They mean serious business. We have the giant spider, and we're approaching the new section of the castle. So this is the new section. It expanded the castle by 50%. We have a second courtyard. We have a small little fountain on the side. This is kind of like a quiet area for the students. And as you soar overhead, you can kind of see the inside of the campus. It's almost like a small little village. There's additional like structures, maybe they're dormitories, living quarters. So this is my Lego Hogwarts Castle for Brickworld Chicago 2022. Hopefully I'll bring it back next year with some additional changes. And hopefully I hope you found this fun to watch, and maybe it'll inspire you to create your own MOCs and display at a LEGO show near you. Once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots and lots of Legos, and most of all, be happy. And I'll see you at the next video. All right, later.